I watched him train. I watched what he was doing, and I was so impressed. And then he did his first sparring, and I was blown away. I was blown away how good he got, how well he adjusted to the weight. I was blown away. So I'm very confident in him, and regardless what anybody says, he's still #1 pound for pound in my eyes. Jack is such a tough customer that if we overlook him, which we haven't, I've actually viewed Jack's fight with Bilal 5 times. 5 times, guys, 5 times, and I've never really done that. 5 times. That's how much I respect Jack. I rewatched him and rewatched him. I said, man, we got our hands full with him. He's a tough customer, but I believe 1,000,000% Islam's going to pull it off. One way or another. I don't know if it's going to be on the ground. I don't know if he's going to stand up. I just know we can do it all. He showed it to us yesterday in his sparring, and yes, I base everything on their sparring. I don't base it on what they think. No, I base it on how I see, what I feel when I see, you know, and I've seen some great sparring for him yesterday that it was unbelievable for me.
Many doubted Islam Makhachev could reach another level, but according to Javier Mendez, what he's witnessed recently has left him speechless. A new body, a new mindset, a completely evolved fighter. From sparring sessions that stunned everyone at the gym to a transformation no one anticipated, Mendez described Islam as unrecognizable. Ahead of UFC 322, his message is clear. This isn't the same Islam anymore. When Mendez walked into the gym and saw Makhachev train, he couldn't believe his eyes. Yet despite all the changes, one thing remains constant in his view. Islam Makhachev is still the pound for pound #1 fighter in the world.
I saw him for the first time over a month ago, and I'm looking at him like, what the heck? I go, wow, he was solid, you know. So I was very impressed with that #1. I said, how do you feel? He goes, great, coach. And you know, I watched him train. I watched what he was doing, and I was so impressed. And then he did his first sparring, and I was blown away. I was blown away how good he got, how well he adjusted to the weight. I was blown away. So I'm very confident in him, and regardless what anybody says, he's still #1 pound for pound in my eyes.
Mendez went even further, emphasizing that fans will see a completely different version of Makhachev on November 15th. Weight, he said, doesn't matter. Whether it's lightweight or a move to a new division, their focus is locked on the next big challenge. With complete confidence, Mendez predicted that Islam will rise again, this time as the next UFC welterweight champion.
So that's my guy, pound for pound #1, Islam Makhachev, and the new version of him is coming, you know, November 15th at Madison Square Garden, you know, and he will be the new welterweight UFC champion.
Safe to say he's done with lightweight, no more.
I don't know if he's done with lightweight, but to be honest with you, why struggle to make all that weight when he's solid. He's solid. So he put on a good 10 pounds, you know, since we last spoke, you know, and I mean, yeah, he can make 155 again if he wanted to, but you know, it's really going to be in his ball court. But let's face it, Jack is such a tough customer.
Still, Mendez isn't overlooking Jack Della Maddalena. He called Jack a formidable opponent who's earned every ounce of respect inside the octagon. Mendez even admitted to watching Jack's fight with Bilal Muhammad at least 5 times, something he'd never done before. While he acknowledged the threat Jack poses, his faith in Islam's abilities remains unwavering. No matter how dangerous the challenge, Mendez believes Islam Makhachev will find a way to win, no matter what it takes.
Jack is such a tough customer that if we overlook him, which we haven't, I've actually viewed Jack's fight with Bilal 5 times. 5 times, guys, 5 times, and I've never really done that. 5 times. That's how much I respect Jack. I rewatched him and rewatched him. I said, man, we got our hands full with him. He's a tough customer, but I believe 1,000,000% Islam's going to pull it off. One way or another, I don't know if it's going to be on the ground. I don't know if it's going to be the stand-up. I just know we can do it all.
Inside the gym, the transformation is undeniable. Islam Makhachev trains with unwavering focus, drenched in sweat, a fighter defined by sheer grit and discipline. Every drop of sweat tells the story of a champion who refuses to slow down. This isn't an athlete resting on past success. It's a man relentlessly chasing greatness once again. According to Javier Mendez, the version of Islam Makhachev emerging in training is one the world hasn't seen before. The concern over Jack Della Maddalena's threat isn't confined to Mendez. Even Khabib Nurmagomedov has voiced his awareness. Khabib considers Jack the most dangerous opponent Islam has ever faced, even more so than Ilia Topuria. He praised Jack's striking precision, composure, and finishing instinct, warning that this matchup demands absolute focus. Khabib even admitted that, for the first time in a long while, he feels a deeper concern heading into this fight than any of Islam's past challenges.
Считаю, что Мадалена самый сложный соперник в ислама карьере. Это мое мнение. Ни Чарльз, никто. Ни один из этих бойцов.
И даже не Илья, если бы это бой был бы.
Ну, мое личное мнение. Во-первых, Мадалена 2 раза больше, чем Илья.
Сопоставим.
Илья. Он 2 раза больше. Он выше, больше, ноги помощнее, корпус, бокс не хуже. И грэпплинг он возится очень хорошо, если вы смотрели. Но для меня, если я буду, например, буду готовить Ислама против Илья или Мадалины, для меня больше будет волновать и волнует Мадалена.
Despite that, Makhachev remains entirely confident under the mentorship of Khabib Nurmagomedov. He believes wholeheartedly that Khabib's guidance continues to elevate him into an even greater fighter. For Islam, following in the footsteps of a true champion is everything. And the way he's preparing now, he's convinced that when he steps into the octagon, he'll once again emerge victorious.
I will be ready 100%. Just believe him. Yep. Just did what he say, and that's it. This guy, he have big experience in this sport. He know how it's working. That's why everybody, how he say, shut up and listen him in training. If you want to be champion, you have to follow the way what the champs did. You know. That's why everybody listen him in the training.
It's not only Javier Mendez who has noticed Islam's phenomenal condition. His close friend and teammate Umar Nurmagomedov has confirmed it as well. Umar described Islam as being in peak form, sharper, stronger, and more focused than ever. He emphasized that Islam isn't just a brawler, he's a tactician with multiple strategies ready to deploy. In Umar's eyes, Islam is prepared, composed, and destined to reclaim championship glory.
Islam in amazing shape, and this guy very smart fighter, and you know, I'm his fan, and he have you know, he don't have some just one plan for fight, and he have plan A, B, C, and like all alphabet, you know, D, E, A, everything, you know, like if something not he couldn't do, he gonna try other one not good, he have next plan, you know. And he's amazing fighter, and he's amazing friend, brother, and I think he will take this belt. I think he deserves.
Umar also reflected on Islam's physical evolution. He admitted that bulking up to welterweight and adding real muscle was a tough process early on, but now the transformation is undeniable. Stronger, faster, and more explosive than ever before, Islam Makhachev isn't merely prepared for battle, he's built for it.
He said it wasn't making him feel good, but he looks very good now. Do you think he's like very built well for welterweight?
Yes, he become a bigger, you know, now we have more power, more than ever, and I think he's ready.
Islam Makhachev's unpredictable game plans and strategic brilliance have earned admiration not only from his own team, but from fellow champions as well, including Merab Dvalishvili. Merab described Islam as a tricky fighter, one who's nearly impossible to hit cleanly, dominant on the ground, and exceptionally efficient with his southpaw movement. In Dvalishvili's view, Makhachev isn't just powerful, he's unpredictable, and that unpredictability is what makes him truly dangerous.
You mentioned Islam. He's moving up to 170. Do you think that he gets the job done and wins that title, or do you think JDM retains?
It's gonna be hard for him, but it's possible to Islam Makhachev wins the second belt. JDM is great fighter, great striker, but Islam is tricky. He has a good wrestling, and he's southpaw. He don't get hits, but he takes people down and he mauls people down.
Dvalishvili emphasized that Makhachev is more than just a powerhouse. He's a student of the sport. He highlighted how Islam dissects his opponents with precision, studying their movements, habits, and flaws before breaking them down piece by piece. After watching Jack Della Madalena's last fight with Bilal Muhammad, Merab expressed confidence that Makhachev will know exactly how to adapt once the cage door closes.
So, and also, we all see the JDM Bilal Muhammad's fight, and then I'm sure Islam will take lots of lessons from this fight, and maybe Islam will make some adjustment. It's possible, it's gonna be hard, but Islam can win the second belt.
Yet, not everyone shares that same confidence. Veteran contender Beneil Dariush voiced skepticism about whether Makhachev's transformation would guarantee success at welterweight. When asked who he believed would leave Madison Square Garden with the title, Dariush leaned toward Jack Della Maddalena. While he acknowledged Islam's technical dominance, he warned that size could play a decisive role. In Dariush's eyes, Jack's natural welterweight frame and relentless stamina might be the difference maker once the fight drags into the later rounds.
I'm gonna lean now towards JDM. Just
Why?
I don't know. I feel like the size will make a difference. Cardio wise, JDM has great cardio. Maybe I'm wrong, but now this is all feel. This is one of the few fights where I can't really give you a clear answer. So I just feel like JDM.
Dariush further pointed out that Jack thrives when the pace remains high, and his endurance is among the best in the division. Though he praised Makhachev's elite grappling and technical precision, he admitted there's a genuine possibility JDM could shock the world. A bold prediction that immediately split fan opinion, and Dariush wasn't alone in that belief.
He's a big guy. I think he's going to fill into that weight. He's a really big 155er. So I think he's going to his lifestyle outside of training camp is going to be a little more comfortable, and he'll fill into that weight class, no problem. He's going to be, he could be champion there for sure.
How do you think he does against JDM?
I think the beginning of the fight's going to tell the story, like how well JDM does at getting up, how well JDM does at keeping Islam off of his feet, off of his legs, off of the cage. It's tough to call that because JDM's a big guy, athletic. I'm excited about that. A lot of fun fights in the future.
Among those who share unshakable faith in Jack Della Maddalena is his coach, Ben Vickers. Having thoroughly analyzed Makhachev's past performances, particularly his fight against Dustin Poirier, Vickers believes Jack can exploit the same vulnerabilities. He noted that Islam struggled to absorb clean shots from Poirier, and with Jack's relentless pressure and physical strength, that weakness could become even more apparent. According to Vickers, Makhachev has never faced a striker as complete or as aggressive as Jack Della Maddalena.
Well, the first jab he took, Poirier only hit him once in the first round, and the first jab he took, when he got the takedown afterwards, he was like wincing and like rubbing his eye. I just feel like he's not used to taking damage. He's not used to being in tough fights with someone pushing the pace, and he's been knocked out before. So listen, and Jack's got size on him. But Bilal's the perfect like warm-up fight if you're gonna fight Makhachev. So, but anyone, like I see holes in them all, and I think Jack's the complete package.
Vickers also highlighted the intensity of Jack's training camp, explaining that every sparring session and conditioning drill has been crafted to counter Makhachev's suffocating wrestling. He expects Islam to shoot early and often, but insists that striking instincts can't be replicated overnight. As Vickers put it, you can't match a born striker like Jack just by hitting pads for a few years. On the feet, he remains certain that Jack Della Maddalena will dictate the fight and take control.
1000%. You can't learn to strike. Say he's been working on his striking for the last 5 years, and Jack's a thoroughbred striker. Whether you've been working on it for 5 years or not, you're not going to catch up with Jack. He'll piece you up on the feet, especially if he's bigger than you. So, and Makhachev's a lot more of a traditional striker than Belal is. Belal's quite a hard puzzle to figure out because he doesn't move in the same way as a boxer would or a kickboxer would necessarily. So, good luck.
As the anticipation builds, former champion Luke Rockhold has also weighed in with his perspective. Rockhold acknowledged that while Jack Della Maddalena may not be on Islam Makhachev's level in wrestling, he still considers him a legitimate threat. In Rockhold's view, the skill gap on the ground doesn't eliminate Jack's danger. It only makes the matchup even more compelling.
Do you see him beating JDM to win that welterweight title?
That's a tough fight. That's a very tough fight. It's going to be interesting. You know, I think those are my three favorite fighters in the UFC right now. We go Islam, Topuria, and JDM. JDM's he's fun to watch. So I mean, that's going to be a great fight. You know, he's no slouch at wrestling, but you have a guy that's wrestled his whole life and grappled his whole life versus JDM. He's kind of like he's secondary on that, but you know, you never know. He's a bigger guy. So, you know, we'll see how Islam, how he bulks up and how he looks. He looks a lot bigger than what I remember. I used to train with him forever. So, I mean, he's definitely grown. You know, we'll see how he carries the weight.
Analyst Dan Hardy, who has long respected both fighters, offered a more technical breakdown. Hardy has consistently praised Jack's crisp boxing, but this time he believes Islam's move to welterweight could be the decisive factor. He explained that Makhachev is entering the division at precisely the right moment, free from the strain of extreme weight cuts and finally able to maximize his physical frame. According to Hardy, this version of Islam will be stronger, fresher, and more dangerous than ever before.
Man, I've been high on JDM for a long time. You know, I remember doing interviews back when Ngannou was crossing over to boxing and people were talking about who's got the best hands in MMA, and I was saying JDM at the time. I mean, his boxing's always impressed me. But at this point, I feel like Islam's moving up a weight class at the right time. You know, there are a lot of fighters that stay in a weight class for too long, and they seem to kind of stifle their physical growth. I don't think Islam can stay healthy and stay in that lightweight division for any longer, and I think right now he's allowed himself to move into a division where his body's just going to grow into it. He's going to be incredibly powerful.
Hardy envisions a tightly contested striking battle early on, with Makhachev using his kicks and forward pressure to establish control. As the fight wears on, he predicts Islam's grappling will begin to dominate, potentially leading to a late submission in the championship rounds. In Hardy's estimation, Makhachev's overall skill set is too refined, too methodical, and too complete for any opponent to solve easily.
You know, I've been having a similar kind of conversation in my head with Crawford coming up against Canelo as well, you know what I mean? Like, what's Crawford going to look like going up a weight? And I think his body's ready to do it, same as Islam. And I just think Islam's all-round game is so problematic for any single fighter. I see him taking it. And I can see him probably a 50-50 striking exchange, Makhachev winning with a kicking advantage, but then he's grappling and his wrestling taking over, probably winning by sub in the championship round.
As UFC 322 approaches, all eyes remain fixed on Islam Makhachev's transformation. From gym stories to reports of his staggering power gains, fans around the world are waiting to see if the hype will turn into history. On Fight Night, the question will finally be answered. Will the unbelievable become reality? That's it for today's video. Share your thoughts in the comments section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.